Hi everyone. In this tutorial we're going to take a look at how to set up guest access to your course and to set that guest access up behind a password so that, for example, a parent that wants to come in and browse your course can do that. This process will work on any Moodle up from 2.0 up. So for Foothills, that's either the hub or our main Moodle server. I'm just using the hub right now because I happen to have a play course in here that isn't going to be impacted by me granting guest access to it. So in order to enable guest access, I'm going to actually scroll down a little bit and I'm going to go into my course. So this, Hub Teachers and Administrators is the course I'm going to enable guest access to. This is just a space that we use for the hub to test things out and to run samples of different kinds of software. Once I have this open, what I'm going to do is initially I have to go under Users, and I'm going to switch to my enrollment methods, and both of these are under Administration. Now, as you can see, this actually has guest access listed. If guest access wasn't set up as one of these, I would just go ahead and hit choose and guest access would show up on this list. Right now it doesn't because I've already got it set up. In order to enable guest access, you just simply have to make sure that this eyeball is switched to the on position. And at this point, guests can immediately sign in. Just by choosing the browse as guest when they get to the login screen. The second thing that you need to do when you're working in guest access is to actually set your course up to allow guest access. So after I've done this, I'm going to go back to my course administration, and this time I'm going to go to my edit settings. Now, these are the typical settings, including the short name and full name of your course and what category it's in that you would normally see. I am going to scroll to the bottom, though, and you'll see that there is a section here called Guest Access. When I open that up, there are a couple of switches that I have to make sure are switched on. So first of all, allow guest access needs to be yes, or the guests will not be able to get into this course. Secondly, if I want to grant access to, say, for example, parents or another teacher, whatever the case may be, it's always good to use a password for that. Now, if you want, you can push this unmask button so that it doesn't just show dots when you type your password. As I'm recording this, it is very obviously coming into springtime, and so I am going to go ahead and type spring is the password. Same rule for this password that you'd use for an enrollment key. Just make sure it's something that when you say it, everybody would write it down the same way. So funny characters can sometimes get in the way of this. So I'll go ahead and hit Save and Display, and that'll take me back to my course. Now, I'm going to actually log out now. And it takes me back to the main page of the Moodle. You can see I've got a login screen here, so I'm not actually logged in. I'm going to go down to the miscellaneous where I know that that course happens to be, and if I scroll down to Hub Teachers Administrators, if I now just press this link, it's going to take me to my login screen. Now, normally, as a user of the course, I would just simply log in and push the login button. But because I've set up login as guest, I don't actually have to plug in my username. So if I push login and guest, or as guest, just like that, it takes me into the course. However, it says for guest access right here, I need to plug in a password. And of course, you know that the password we typed was spring. And if you want, you can unmask that and hit submit. And just like that, I am into that course. I can't contribute, I can't hand anything in, I can't enter discussions, but I can browse anything that's in the drop boxes. So if that's posted to the site. So if you post content videos, documents, etc., all of those would be available to this person. Again, I'm not logged in, but I have access through that password to those things that a student logged in would have access to. Anyway, if there's any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'd be happy to help.